Welcome to English Grammar and Writing Skills course of EduPorm EdTech. You're watching the video with Manisha Bedi and the topic for the video is adjectives. Today we are going to deal with adjectives. Okay. Now this is one of the very much interesting and fascinating parts of speech, and I already used some of the adjectives in front of you that was interesting and fascinating. Adjectives means visheshita. Okay, means this basically helps you to describe a noun or a pronoun. Okay, like in previous examples I would have said to you that Ram is a kind boy. So Ram is a kind boy. Whenever you are saying that Ram is a kind boy, okay, so kind is an adjective. Why? Because it is describing a noun or a pronoun. It is describing Ram. How is Ram? So Ram is kind. Okay, Ram is a kind boy. So adjective basically is used to describe a noun or a pronoun. Okay. Now, what are different kinds of adjectives? Mainly you have to read about 9 kinds of adjectives. Okay, you have to read about 9 kinds of adjectives. Now what are these 9 kinds of adjectives? Now we're going to learn about them one by one. First of all, the first type of adjective is proper adjective. Okay, proper adjectives. Now what do you mean by proper adjective? Proper adjectives, proper means basically it is used to define a person, an adjective which is used to define a person. Let's say for example, if I say that he is an Indian man. Okay, so what I just did here was I defined a person. Okay, so proper adjectives are basically used to define a person. Now what are the possessive adjective? The second form of adjective is, the second type of adjective is possessive adjective. Now what is possessive adjective? Possessive adjective basically shows the relation. It talks about the relation. With the person or object. Okay, now it talks about the relation with the person or object. Let's say for example, if I'm saying her, his, your or mine, all of these shows relation with a person or an object. Like if I say that she is mine. Okay, if I say that she is mine, or she is her sister. Okay, in all of these cases what I'm trying to do is I am talking about the relation with an object. So in all of these cases the adjective used is possessive adjective. Let's say for example that is her, his, your or mine. Let's talk about the other types. Okay, what are the other types? The third type is distributive adjective. Distributive adjective. Now what is distributive adjective? Distributive adjective basically defines a class of each object or a person. It basically defines a class of an object or person. Okay, let's say for example, when you're using words like each, every, either, other, another, Now all of these are basically considered as distributive adjective. Okay, so distributive adjective basically defines a class of each object or person. Let's say for example, if I say that each candidate should attempt every question. Each candidate should attempt every question. In this case, you will understand that they have made use of a distributive adjective. Okay, because this is basically, each here is basically defining a class of object or a person. Each is defining a class of candidate here. Basically, we are referring to candidate here. And we are saying that each candidate means we are referring to each and every, means each and every number of candidates present to attempt we are basically saying them that we are giving them instructions that each and every candidate should attempt every questions. So these type of adjectives are known as distributive, as the name itself suggested. Okay. Now let's talk about the fourth type. The fourth type of adjective is demonstrative adjective. The fourth type of adjective is demonstrative adjective. Demonstrative adjective means these basically define noun. They basically define noun. These are used to define noun. Like what are the words which you would basically use to demonstrate? That is this or that or these, okay, or those. Now all kinds of these are basically referred to as demonstrative adjectives. Let's say for example, this man is very honest. Now again you used the adjective, that is this, to demonstrate that particular man, to demonstrate, to define the noun. The noun used here is man. Okay, so these kinds of adjectives are known as demonstrative adjectives. Now next we have interrogative adjectives. The name itself suggests. Interrogative means we are going to talk about interrogation, means we are going to talk about the questions. Okay. Now they are basically used to ask a question. Okay, they are used to ask a question. Let's say for example, where, whose, what, which, whom. All of these are basically used to ask a question. Let's say for example, if I say that whose book is this, okay, or what just happened here, so these all are basically the adjectives, but they are basically the interrogative adjectives which are mainly used to ask a kind of question. Okay, now let's see the next type of adjective. The next one is numeral. Okay, numeral adjective. Now what are numeral adjectives? Numeral adjectives are basically used to define the number of an object. Okay, numeral means basically you're talking about the number of an object. Okay, let's say for example, when you're using words like first, second, okay, or 100, or few, lot, some, many, much, little. Okay, in all of these words are basically considered as numeral adjectives. Let's say for example, if I say that some of them have attempted every question. Okay, now in this sentence, if you see that I have made use of some of them means I am talking about, I am making use of numeral adjectives. Okay, I am defining that some of them, okay, out of, let's say, like some of them is like, let's say we are considering like maybe 40 candidates. Okay, so out of 40, some of means some of them, like little amount of them have attempted every question. Okay, so this is a kind of numeral adjectives which basically define the number of an object here. Okay, now next one is quality adjectives. Now there are some adjectives which basically talks about the quality. Okay, quality of the noun. Okay, there are some of the adjectives which defines the quality of the noun. Okay, let's say for example, if you say that tall, short, beautiful, handsome. Okay, tall, short, beautiful, handsome, these all are basically expressing the quality of the noun. Okay, let's say for example, I am saying that he is a handsome man. Okay, so in this sentence, handsome is basically a kind of quality adjective. Okay, quality adjective, and it is used to define the noun used here, that is man. Okay, let's talk about the next adjective. Okay, the next one is emphasizing. Adjectives. Now what are emphasizing adjectives? These are used to emphasize a noun. Let's say for example, here basically we are emphasizing, like we say now that emphasize on the points, emphasize on the important points. So these are basically to force a particular point. Let's say for example, I am saying that she is a talented girl, but if I am saying that she is a very talented girl, that means I am emphasizing upon the adjective already used there. Okay, I am defining that girl is talented. Okay, but then again in this sentence I am saying that she is a very talented girl. That means I am emphasizing, I am using this word to emphasize the adjective already used here, that is talented. So very becomes emphasizing adjective. Okay, so this is used to emphasize a noun, and those adjectives are considered to be emphasizing adjectives. Okay, those adjectives are considered to be emphasizing adjectives. The last one is exclamatory adjectives. Okay, now exclamatory adjective means these will be those adjectives which basically used to define any shocking. Whenever you are trying to define any kind of shocking or surprising event, or any strong emotion. Okay, so whenever you are trying to define a shocking or surprising or a strong emotion, in that case you make use of exclamatory adjectives. Okay, let's say for example, what a pleasant surprise. What a pleasant surprise. Okay, or if I say that, oh boy, I'm in trouble. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. Okay, anything like that. So oh boy, or I'm in trouble, or what a pleasant surprise. Like this is basically, these are used to express any kind of shocking or surprising event, and this basically makes use of exclamation mark. Okay, exclamation mark, and that would particularly define you that these are the exclamatory adjectives. Okay, so I hope the types of adjectives and what are adjectives is clear to you. In the next video we are going to talk about, we are going to do some comparisons of adjectives. We are going to talk about degree of the comparison of adjectives. Okay, different degrees.